like clock. I can't stop. Fuck around, make my 40 pop.
Alright guys, I wanted to make a video basically explaining to you guys why I thought some of these things that Amado did actually say didn't really add up, and me kind of reasoning through it and talk about how they can actually add up. Now I feel like off the rip, one of the biggest things that I really couldn't get over is how Kaguya actually beat Isshiki Ōtsutsuki, and not only how Kaguya beat Isshiki, but also why Kaguya actually betrayed Isshiki Ōtsutsuki. And that's a video for another day, but regardless, I kind of understand it, man, because she did catch him off guard. Not only that, she was not really able to finish off Isshiki Ōtsutsuki. From the context clues that we have gotten so far from the Boruto manga, it seems that Isshiki Ōtsutsuki is a lot stronger than Kaguya Ōtsutsuki. And if Isshiki Ōtsutsuki was stronger than Kaguya, but not that much stronger than Kaguya, then Kaguya would have killed Isshiki Ōtsutsuki right then and there. But the fact that he got away from Isshiki Ōtsutsuki while being split in half, just that in my opinion made it a lot more comfortable to believe that story. But regardless, getting off of that, man, because that is not the big part of this episode. The biggest hurdle in my opinion was Jigen being over 1,000 years old. If we concede the fact that Isshiki Ōtsutsuki was alive mainly because of the Karma Slave, mainly because of Isshiki Ōtsutsuki's presence, what happened in the span of over 1,000 years for Isshiki Ōtsutsuki to not get a new vessel? What was the process that Isshiki Ōtsutsuki was going through? Now, while trying to reason through this, you have to understand how many of the accomplishments that Isshiki Ōtsutsuki has right now could have possibly been done in that span of 1,000 years. I think that the biggest feat that Isshiki Ōtsutsuki did do is, of course, get the 10 tails. The 10 tails is going to be a very preeminent part about what Isshiki Ōtsutsuki was doing prior to actually getting kawaki. And in my opinion, I feel like that right there would probably not take that long. For a character as strong as Isshiki Ōtsutsuki, I understand that it is a process, it is a grind, and it does take nuance, but regardless, you have to understand where I'm coming from. A character like Momoshiki around episode 15 was seen just devouring a chakra fruit. We understand Momoshiki before that point was nowhere as strong as Isshiki Ōtsutsuki or even Jigen in Isshiki Ōtsutsuki's body. So it just, to me, seems like Isshiki Ōtsutsuki would not have that hard of a time acquiring the 10 tails. I'm pretty sure Amado is probably going to explain this in the next chapter, but just giving my opinion about the situation is I think that Isshiki Ōtsutsuki understood just a lot of the kids back then in those ages were not equipped to handle his overall energy. I think he was waiting for the human race to kind of evolve a little bit. And I think the scientific technology was a great way for the human race to actually evolve and be able to sustain his level of energy. Now, another thing that I do want to point out, Isshiki Ōtsutsuki did actually conduct an experiment on multiple children, and of course kawaki being the 12th experiment, of course we don't necessarily know exactly what happened to the 13th experiment. Kawaki was the character that actually passed the experiment. This is going to be a very interesting thing. Does this mean that Isshiki Ōtsutsuki was possibly doing this experiment for over 1,000 years, possibly like 800 years if we do take into that healing period that Isshiki Ōtsutsuki was actually split in half and he just housed himself into Jigen's brain? We'd have to understand that would mean thousands of children over the course of 1,000 years were just going missing and no one knew anything. That right there, in my opinion, is extremely hard to believe, but that right there just piggybacks off of everything else that we have been hearing about the Kata organization, how the Kata organization has been like this underground organization for years and no one really knew, especially how well Sasuke is plugged into the underground shinobis and the rogue ninjas. He had no idea. So I feel like if Sasuke had no idea about any of this going on back in the day, I'm pretty sure it would be a difficult scene for anybody else to actually detect Isshiki Ōtsutsuki going around stealing kids, mainly because he is just that elite. I'm pretty sure he would cover his tracks very well. But in my opinion, I think if we were being completely realistic, I think it would just be the situation where Isshiki Ōtsutsuki was waiting for the human race to actually evolve, and he really couldn't start his hunt until he came upon the information that Amado had, the information about using scientific technology to quote-unquote upgrade the human body, similar to how he did to Kawaki, similar to how he did to Delta, similar to how he did to Kashinkoji, and possibly some other characters out there, possibly even Boruto. But if that is the situation and he was actually waiting for the human race to kind of evolve, that would mean a kind of different story for Boruto, man, because Boruto is not infused with scientific technology. But if there is a chance that Boruto's body in turn cannot necessarily handle the full power of Momoshiki, then that would possibly mean that Boruto is going to be alive for a very long time, similar to how Jigen was actually alive for a very long time. Of course, Momoshiki then would probably have to find a scientist similar to Amado if this is the situation, if Isshiki Ōtsutsuki did in fact wait for the human race to actually develop, and now we have scientific technology to upgrade the human body. I feel like that probably would definitely be a very realistic situation for a character like Boruto. But regardless, in my opinion, I think that Boruto is probably going to outlast a lot of characters out there just because of the sheer fact that Jigen survived for over 1,000 years. Now, one thing that I do know, all eyes are going to be on Amado. All eyes are going to be on his actual explanation about the things that he did leave out. What is the time frame? What was Isshiki Ōtsutsuki doing in that 1,000 years? And I do want to point out, this right here is not going to be just about Isshiki Ōtsutsuki. This is going to be about the long term of the Boruto series. I feel like a lot of people understand that it's a very good possibility that Isshiki Ōtsutsuki is not going to be the final boss. A lot of people out there have been making theory videos and basically talking about the quote-unquote Otsutsuki king, and not only the king but the overall clan. Can there possibly be other clan members that come to this dimension and try to take care of our quote-unquote space creatures? But I do want to know overall, what do you guys think about the last chapter? Are you guys buying Amado's story, man? Because the question of the trustworthiness of Amado is still up in the air. But one thing that I do know is that a lot of things that he has been saying can actually be corroborated. The fact that the Otsutsuki clan are basically alien parasites, the things that we've seen already in not only the Naruto Shippuden series but also in the Boruto series kind of confirm that. Also the Karma Seal, a lot of the information that he has been talking, we can actually corroborate that about the things that we have seen earlier in the theories that not only me but a lot of the YouTube community actually had in the past. But let me know what you guys think. Are you guys buying the story, and what is some information that you want / need to know in the next chapter of the Boruto manga? But it's been your boy Baara, and we out.
It's a knife.